Beneath the great baobab tree, where roots twisted like the hands of ancestors reaching for the sky, Eneni gathers, the oldest woman in the village, sat upon her wooden stool. Her silver-grey hair glowed under the moonlight, and her eyes, clouded with time yet sharp with wisdom, swept over the eager faces of the children before her. The fire crackled, casting long shadows as the wind whispered through the leaves. "Tonight, my little ones," Eneni Gada said, her voice deep and steady, "I will tell you the tale of the midnight journey, a path walked only by those whose hearts are heavy, those who seek but do not yet see." The children inched closer, eyes wide with curiosity. "Is it a true story, Eneni?" a small boy asked, gripping his knees. Eneni smiled. "Oh, little one, all stories are true in the hearts of those who listen." And so, she began. There once lived a young woman named Adia, whose heart was heavy with sorrow. She carried her past like a clay pot filled with stones, each mistake, each regret, adding to its unbearable weight. She had been wronged. She had also wronged others. One night, as she sat alone by the river, watching the moon ripple across the water, a melody drifted through the air. It was a lullaby, soft, haunting, and strangely familiar. It called to her, not with words, but with an aching pull, like a voice from the depths of her own soul. She stood, drawn to the sound, and followed it into the forest. The trees stretched tall and endless, their branches whispering secrets. The deeper she went, the more the world around her changed, the air thickened, the moonlight sharpened, and the path before her seemed to shimmer like a dream. The little girl gasped, clutching her friend's hand. Eneni, wasn't she scared to go into the forest alone? Eneni Gadas chuckled. "Fear, my dear, walks beside us all. But sometimes, the call of destiny is stronger." The song led Adia to a clearing where an old man sat by a fire. His skin was lined like the bark of an ancient tree, and his eyes gleamed like burning embers. He stirred a pot over the flames, the scent of herbs thick in the air. "Come, child," he said without looking up. "Tell me, why do you walk this path?" Adia hesitated. I have lost my way." The old man chuckled. "Have you? Or have you simply refused to turn the page of your story?" He reached into his satchel and pulled out a scroll, its parchment yellowed with age. "Every soul has a story, Adia. Some let their past chapters define them. Others write new ones. Tell me, child, are you the prisoner of your past, or the author of your future?" A boy frowned and leaned forward. "But Eneni, how can she write a new story if she doesn't know how?" Eneni nodded approvingly. "Oh, that is the question, isn't it? But, my child, we all learn as we go. The trick is to begin." Adia looked at the scroll in the old man's hands, then at her own palms, rough from the burdens she carried. The weight in her chest eased slightly. The fire roared, swallowing the clearing in golden light. When the flames dimmed, the old man was gone. Only the path remained. The path twisted and led her to a grove where fireflies danced like fallen stars. There, perched upon a tree branch, was a boy no older than 12. His grin was wide, his eyes sharp with mischief. "Lost, are we?" he teased. "Not lost," Adia replied. "Seeking." The boy laughed, leaping down to circle her. "Seeking what?" "Yourself. You've already found her. You are you, no matter where you stand." He clapped his hands, and suddenly, Adia saw reflections of herself all around, laughing, crying, running, standing still. Each version was different, yet the same. "Which one is the real you?" the boy asked. Adia reached out, but the images shattered like glass. A child covered his mouth in awe. "What does that mean, Eneni?" Eneni's eyes twinkled. "It means, my dear, that we are not just one thing. We are who we choose to be with each new day." And with that, the trickster vanished, leaving Adia alone once more. At last, the path led her to a still lake, its surface dark as polished obsidian. On the other side stood a towering figure, wrapped in a cloak of midnight. He did not speak, but his presence filled the air like the hush before a storm. Adia peered into the water and gasped. The lake showed not just her reflection, but the faces of all she had ever met. Friends, family, strangers. The ones she had loved, the ones she had hurt, the ones who had hurt her. She understood then, she was never alone. Her pain, her choices, her regrets, they rippled beyond herself. She was part of something greater, something endless. The silent guardian raised a hand, and for the first time, Adia felt light. The clay pot of regrets upon her back crumbled into dust. The moonlight touched the water, and suddenly, the path behind her faded, replaced by a new one stretching forward. She knew what she had to do. As she stepped forward, the lullaby returned, clearer now, stronger. But this time, it did not call her forward. It called her home. She turned, realizing she had reached the end of the midnight journey. But she was not the same woman who had begun it. She walked back through the forest, but the trees did not seem so tall, the shadows not so dark. The path had always been there, she had simply needed to see it. As the first light of dawn touched the horizon, Adia found herself back at the river's edge. The lullaby still echoed in the wind, but now, she understood its words. Walk forward. Walk free. She smiled, knowing her journey was not over, only changed. Eneni Gathers leaned forward, her voice now a whisper. And so, my little ones, Adia learned that the past is not a prison, but a teacher. And with that knowledge, she walked forward, ready to write the next chapter of her life. The children sat in silence, their minds dancing with the tale. Then, a small girl with curious eyes asked, Eneni, did Adia ever hear the lullaby again? The old woman chuckled, tapping her nose. Oh, my child, the song is always there. You just have to listen. And with that, the wind carried the sound of a distant melody through the trees, as if the night itself were humming along.